Okay, so welcome to our new video guide, and this is for week 5 lesson 4. And I hope guys nakatapos na kayo sa ating week 4 lesson 3, which is about giving instructions. So for this week, April 19 to 24, 2021, we will be talking about exploring culture and history through poetry. So atin daw i-explore ang ating kultura at ang ating kasaysayan sa pamamagitan ng isang tula. So our most essential learning competency, explain how a selection may be influenced by culture, history, environment, or other factors. So inyo daw ipaliliwanag kung papaano ang isang selection or in this lesson ang tula ay naimpluwensyahan ng ating kultura, ng ating kasaysayan, ng ating kapaligiran, at ng iba pa daw factors. And what are those factors? It can be people, no? And then, aside from that, you're going to identify imagery and figures of speech used in poetry. So, basahin nga ulit natin yon. Everybody say imagery. Okay? Later on, we will discuss what is imagery. And this one, figures of speech, I hope everyone is already familiar with that kasi inaaral naman ito noong kayo elementary din, especially yung mga galing sa private schools. So the poem in this lesson talks about the pride of our country and of being a Filipino. It will help you realize the beauty and grandeur of our country. As you read it, take notice of our uniqueness as a nation. So here we will be talking of a poem. And this poem daw is about the pride or something na pinagmamalaki ng ating bansa as a Filipino. And hopefully, marirealize nyo daw yung kagandahan at yung kaningningan ng ating bansa and of course, yung ating uniqueness or pagkakaiba sa ibang nation. And also, you will learn how writers use figurative language and imagery to add beauty and creativity in poems. So guys, itong figurative language and imagery, ginagamit ito sa mga tula. So, this is one of the salient element of a poetry na sabihin na natin nagdi-distinguish ng poetry from short stories, essays, and novels. Ito yung isa sa mga features niya, yung imagery and figures of speech. So let's begin first by knowing what is poetry. Ano nga ba ang tula? Poetry is a type of literature based on the interplay of words and rhythm. It often employs rhyme and meter, a set of rules governing the number and arrangement of syllables in each line. In poetry, words are strung together to form sounds, images, and ideas that might be too complex or abstract to describe directly. So, himayin natin yung mga colored words here. So, the first one is interplay. Ibig sabihin yung mahusay na paggamit daw ng mga salita at ritmo. Pag sinabi naman nating ritmo, ginagamitan daw siya ng rhyme or tugma. At meron din siyang sukat. Kaya nagkakaroon ng ritmo dahil dun sa sukat at dahil doon sa tugma. And of course, sa halip na sentences, ang ginagamit nating word ay syllables at ang bawat isang sentence ay tinatawag naman nating line. So, in poetry, merong lines. In essays, merong sentences. Okay? So, different types of themes in poetry. Pag sinabi nating themes, ano kayang meaning nun? The theme is the underlying message that the writer or artist wants to convey. Ibig sabihin, pag pinag-usapan daw, what is the theme of the poem? Ibig sabihin, what is the message that the writer wants to convey? Anong message na gustong sabihin ng writer sa'yo sa pamamagitan daw ng kanyang tula? Themes can feature in poetry, a short story, a novel, or even a work of art. So, I have here 5 most used themes in poetry. So, syempre, ang unang-una, tungkol sa love. Sometimes daw, tungkol sa death. Number 3, about religion or spirituality. Number 4 pa, nature. And number 5, beauty. So again, pag sinabi natin theme, it is the underlying message. So let us read. Let us begin reading our poem for this week. Sabayan niyo ako. The title is I Am Proud to Be a Filipino by Toribia A. Mano. I am a Filipino. I came from islands rippled with sun, where days are green, fires and nights are warm. With moon and stars girdling my loins is blood rich as milk. For I was born of sultans, rahas, kings, soldiers, heroes who fought to sing. The poetry of freedom, my house is my land. Virgin, brown, womb out of loam, volcanic rock and shells. Carpeted with rice, corn, coconut, cane, trees that rise as temples to grateful winds. Rains, mighty rivers, furrowing the earth. Now here, in this stanza, binigyan ko ng highlight itong island. Okay? Tandaan natin because this will be your guide in answering question number 1. Island. So, alamin nga natin, ma'am, pakitranslate po ng mabilis lang sa Tagalog. So, ano yung mga nakikita natin dito? Tayo daw ay isang Pilipino, nagmula daw tayo sa isla. Okay? Where days are green, fires and nights are warm. Tingnan nyo tong line na to. Do you believe that our nights are warm? Yes, because we came from a tropical country, okay? So, itong salitang ito nagpapakita ng ating weather. Or sabihin na natin klima dito sa ating bansa. With moon and stars girdling my loins is blood rich as milk. Okay, mamaya babalikan natin itong sentence na to. Okay, for I was born of sultans, rahas, and king. So, here naman, these are our previous leaders. Wala na tayo niyan. Kaya sabi kanina, poetry depicts our history. So, ano ba ang ating kasaysayan? Binubuo tayo ng ating mga sultan, ng mga hari, ng mga raha. And then, here, the poetry of freedom. My house is my land. Okay, tingnan nyo itong line na to ha. Babalikan kasi uli natin mamaya. My house is my land. And here, we have virgin, brown, wombed out of loam, volcanic rock, and shells. So, ito naman parang nagpapakita ng ating topography, yung ating geography, topography, kung anong makikita mo sa lupa or sa environment dito sa Philippines. And here, tayo daw ay puno ng rice, ng corn, ng coconut, ng cane, sugarcane yan, and different trees. Okay? Rains, mighty rivers, furrowing the earth means marami din tayo mga malalaking ilog. Kasi nga tayo ay isang malaking isla. Okay, so for this stanza, meron pa palang isa. Where I walk, my shadow is a marriage of flags. Ano kaya mamang ibig sabihin itong marriage of flags? Parang pagkakasalan ng iba't iba daw flags. So meaning, binubuo tayo. May kasunod kasi ito, binubuo tayo ng iba't ibang lahi. Okay? And for this stanza, you're going to answer Learning Test 1, question number 1. How are islands described in the poem? How are islands described in the poem? You're going to write your answer on your paper. So again, that's the reason why I highlighted this word here. Kasi siya yung magiging pinaka-clue mo so that you can answer question number 1. Okay? You can go back to your module and reread again this poem. Let's move on. Okay, Malay, Chinese, Spanish, American, and Japanese. While in my bones sleep quietly as a bride, vanquished desires of conquerors who dreamt of empires. Gold, trade, and spice, though a pale breed, I stand with the ancients for my love and loyalty. Are as fish to the sea, I am proud of my brownness. My duty and destiny are 30 million brown men, planting rice, husking coconut, throwing nets far into the Pacific, hacking mountains of iron, coal, chrome, manganese, and timber. To live, we are one and the same, a moving, restless caravan. Okay, so kanina kung natandaan nyo, sabi kanina, marriage of flags. So, eto na yung sinasabi ko kaninang excuse me. Ito na yung sinasabi ko kaninang marriage of flags. Balikan natin. Ayan, Malay, Chinese, Spanish, American, Japanese. So, in our history, these people, nagsisimula, ating i-encircle yan. Sorry. Okay. Dito, yan. These are our conquerors, di ba? In our history, I hope tandaan natin yan. So, ang sabi dito, while in my bones sleep quietly as a bride, vanquish desires of conquerors who dream of empires. So, nawala na daw ang ating pagnanasa dito sa ating mga conquerors. Parang mga manlulupig na nagmithi daw na bumuo ng empire dito sa ating bansa. Now, in this part, gold, highlight natin, gold, trade, and spice. Anong meron dito? So, eto naman yung mga minerals na makikita mo, sabihin na nating yaman, na makikita mo naman sa ating Philippine soil. Okay? And here, I stand with the ancients for my love and loyalty. Are a fish to the sea, I am proud of my brownness. So here, tinanin nyo to. Anong ipinakikita nito? Pagiging daw proud saan? Sa kanyang skin color. So hindi ka pala dapat mahiya kung ikaw ay morena, okay, or medyo brown. Hindi tayo kagaya ng mga Amerikano na talagang ilang na mapuputi, or kagaya ng mga Japanese, or kagaya din ng mga Spanish. We are proud, eto yun ha, we are proud, yan, Malay descendants, okay? Look at this word. Bakit kaya naka-highlight uli ang word na to? Duty. Because that will be your clue to answer the next question. And what is the next question? Question number 2. What are the Filipinos doing for a living according to the poem? Do you agree? Support your answer. Tagalogin natin. Ano daw ang ginagawa ng mga Pilipino para sa kanilang ikabubuhay? So, matatagpuan yun dito sa stanza na to. Do you agree, yes or no? And then you're going to copy your support or your pag sinabi mong yes, why? Parang ganun, yes, why? So support your answer, copy your proof of agreement or disagreement with the question. Let's continue. Of dark brown skins building a holy heritage of democracy. Piece by piece with our dreams, sweat, and death. As a bird builds patiently, twig by twig, the warm brown circle of its nest. I am a Filipino. I believe in the goodness and the bounty of God. I believe in the grandeur of charity and peace as a cure for the ills of men. For I am a Christian who looks upon all men as brothers whose task is to love. I believe in my country and in the deathlessness of my flag, for its every color is a history of courage, sacrifice, death. Again, injustice, tyranny, oppression, and hate. Okay, so again, may nakikita tayo ditong part of our history. So atin munang isa-isahin. Look at this word, democracy. So tayo daw yung mga taong kulay brown na bumubuo ng demokrasya. And that was before. So at present, nakuha na natin itong democracy na to, no? So hindi naging madali paano natin na-achieve itong democracy. Ito nakalagay, through sweat and death. So this brings us to remember our fallen heroes, yung ating mga namatay na kasi sina Apollinario Mabini na lumaban para ma-achieve natin itong ating demokrasya. Okay? Here, sabi dito, I am a Filipino, I believe in the goodness and the bounty of God. So bakit daw tayo naniniwala dito sa bounty of God? Because says here, we are Christian. So, survey says majority of the population here in the Philippines, ang religion talaga ay Christian. Okay? Second pa ang Catholic, and then Muslim, and then the other religions. So, pag sinabi natin Christian, naniniwala tayo kay Jesus Christ. Next. Look at this line. As brothers whose task is to love. Okay? Ating i-encircle ngayon. Ang atin daw palang kailangan gawin ay magmahal. I believe in my country and in the deathlessness of my flag. Okay? So here, deathlessness of my flag. Ibig sabihin, ito sumisimbolo ng ating pagiging independent, or pagiging ng ating kasarinlan, independence. Kasi, bakit ginamit yung word of deathlessness? To achieve this independence, nasa kabila na siyang slide, nalabanan ng ating mga ninuno, or sabihin na natin ng ating ancestors, ang ating mga conquerors. Sino yon? Again, the Spaniards, the Americans, and the Japanese, so that we can achieve itong tinatawag nating ating i-highlight, itong tinatawag natin here na democracy or demokrasya in Tagalog. Okay? For its every color is a history of courage, sacrifice, and death. Okay? Naniniwala ka ba dyan? Go back, sabi natin, reread your history sa ating AP at makikita mo kung gaano kadami ang ating naging fallen heroes. Against daw saan? Against injustice, tyranny, and oppression and hate. So, kaya namatay para labanan daw itong mga ito. Itong pagiging pang-oppress sa atin ng ating mga conquerors. And for this stanza, this is our question. Number 3, what is the cure for the ills of man according to the poem? Do you agree? Support your answer. Ano daw ang gamot sa mga sakit ng tao? So, ang tinutukoy na sakit dito ay hindi dengue, hindi COVID. Ito narito ang ating clue word, cure. So, better read this line, this part of the poem so that you can answer question number 3. I believe in my people as noble keepers of the faith, that all men are equal, that all men are free. I believe with verdant and sprawling mountains, hills, valleys, plains, lakes, waterfalls, rivers, sunset, beaches, and a generous sea, alive, sovereign, wondrously happy in work, and abundant with hope for my people. I am proud to be a Filipino. Okay, so this is our last sentence or last line. I am proud to be a Filipino. Bakit daw siya proud? Let's highlight this word. Noble keepers of faith. Ibig sabihin, tayo daw ang taong madaling magtiwala o yung ating pananampalataya masyadong buo. Ano yung pinapananampalatayanan natin? That all men are equal. Na lahat ng tao ay pantay-pantay. That all men are free. Na lahat ng tao ay malaya. Okay? Naniniwala daw siya saan? Yan, mountains, hills, valleys, plains, etc. So, tingnan nyo ito. These are part of our topography. So, meaning, itong ating writer, siya ay lover of nature kasi na-appreciate niya lahat ng ito. Okay? Next, and a generous sea, alive, sovereign, wondrously happy in work. So, tanungin mo nga yung magulang mo, nanay, kayo ba ay masaya sa inyong trabaho? Kasi sabi dito, ang mga Pilipino daw ay masaya sa kanilang mga trabaho. Sagana, saan? Sagana daw tayo sa pag-asa, hope, for my people. Yun, pag-asa, paniniwala para sa kanyang kapwa Pilipino. Kaya daw siya ay proud na maging isang Filipino. And for this line, or for this stanza, we will have questions number 4 and 5. Do you think it is our duty to be proud of being a Filipino? So, atin ba daw katungkulan na maging proud bilang maging Pinoy? Yes or no? And then, of course, support your answer. Which Filipino trait or values described in the poem still hold true today? Alin daw dito sa mga binanggit na mga katangian ng mga Pilipino ang buhay pa hanggang ngayon, o sabihin na natin nakikita mo pa hanggang ngayon. Which ones have changed? Alin naman ang mga nabago na? Explain your answer. So again, this 5 question is our learning test 1. Let's continue. This poem is an example of a free verse, a literary device that can be defined as poetry that is free from limitations of regular meter or rhythm and does not rhyme with fixed forms. However, it still allows poets to use alliteration, rhyme, and rhythms to get the effects that they consider are suitable for the piece. Now, if you notice, masyadong mahahaba yung lines ng ating poetry. And compared dun sa mga tula na inaaral nyo when you were in elementary, so parang wala siyang masyadong tugma, wala daw siyang ritmo, kasi nga ang tawag dito ay malayang taludturan in Filipino, or sa English siya ay free verse, wala siyang sukat, wala siyang ritmo, wala din siyang tugma, pero gumagamit daw siya nitong alliteration. Tingnan natin, ano mamang alliteration? Okay, let us read. Alliteration, the repetition of usually initial consonant sounds in 2 or more neighboring words or syllables. So, pantig ito, pag-uulit daw ng mga pantig. Let us have the examples such as wild, woolly, threatening, throngs. So, kahit wala daw siyang rhyme, ang free verse pala gumagamit ng mga ng alliteration or yung mga pantig na inuulit. So, it also creates vividness or sabihin na natin nagpapaganda rin siya sa isang poetry. So, huwag kalimutan ito ha. Next, let us go to the next topic. What are figures of speech? So, sabi ko kanina, figures of speech, these are salient, it means important features of poetry. So, aralin muna natin yung tatlo na pinakamadali. The first 2, simile and metaphors, are figures of speech that compares 2 different things in an interesting way. So, ating bigyan ng emphasis itong salitang 2. So, ang pinagkukumpara ng simile at ng metaphor ay dalawang bagay. Dalawang magkaibang bagay. Hindi dalawang magkatulad na bagay. Dalawang magkaibang bagay. Similes and metaphors are often confused with one another. The main difference between a simile and metaphor is that a simile uses the words like or as to draw a comparison, and a metaphor simply states the comparison without using like or as. Okay, simplified natin. From the word simile, so ang ating clue dito ay itong salitang like at itong salitang as. Pag meron kang nakita niyan, ginamit siya sa paghahambing, ang figure of speech na ginamit ay simile. Pag naman nawala, pero meron pa rin dalawang bagay na pinaghahambing, ang ginagamit na figure of speech ay metaphor. Let us study. Examples. Every morning, my mother is busy as a bee. So here, ang dalawang bagay na pinagkukumpara ay si mother at bee. They fought like cats and dogs. Ang dalawang bagay na pinagkukumpara ay ang word na sila and then cats and dogs. So here, tingnan nyo to. Ito yung sinasabing as, ito yung sinasabing like. Now, both of these sentences are example of simile. Sabihin nga natin, simile. Okay, hindi smile ha, simile yan. Then, eto, kinuha ko halos magkaparehas. Every morning, my mother is a bee in the kitchen. So, tingnan nyo, narito pa rin si mother, narito pa rin si bee. Pero nawala yung word na as. Naiwan yung ating tinatawag na linking verb, is. They are cats and dogs. Okay, nawala si like, pinalitan natin ng linking verb na are. Okay? And this is an example of metaphor. So, madali lang tandaan. Una, hanapin ang dalawang bagay na pinagkukumpara. Kapag nakita ang as at ang like, siya ay simile. Kapag naman nawala, pero naroon pa rin ang dalawang pinagkukumpara, siya ay metaphor. Let's go to number 3. Personification. Personification is when you assign the qualities of a person to something that isn't human or that isn't even alive, such as nature or household items. So, isa-isahin natin yung mga colored words natin. We have here qualities, means katangian daw ng isang tao. Ibinibigay mo sa isang bagay na hindi naman tao or hindi naman buhay, kagaya ng nature, kalikasan, or mga bagay sa loob ng ating bahay. Examples. 2 sunflowers move into the yellow room. Ang dalawa daw sunflower ay gumalaw papunta sa dilaw na silid. Okay, 2 sunflowers, something that is not human. The word move is an action word, quality, kakayanan ng tao. Ano pinakikita ng move? Yung kakayanan ng tao na gumalaw. Ano? Yun ang ibig sabihin ng personification. Another example. The stars dance playfully in the moonlit sky. Stars, something that is not human. Ano kaya dito ang kakayanan ng tao? Ayun, we have dance as an action word, a quality that shows kakayanan ng tao. The wind howled or sumigaw, umugong, its mighty objection. Wind, something that is not human. Hindi siya tao ha, pero tingnan niyo yung salitang sumigaw or umugong is an action word that shows our quality or our kakayanan as tao. I hope malinaw ito. Ginagamitan natin ng action words ang personification. Learning Task 2. Read the following expression from the poem, I am proud to be a Filipino, and indicate whether it is a simile, metaphor, or personification. Write your answers on your paper. Girdling my loins is blood rich as a milk. Mighty rivers are furrowing the earth. My house is my land. So, alam ko hindi nyo masyadong nagets itong number 1. So, itong ibig sabihin ng number 1. Kita niyo yan. Girdling, also called as ring barking. So, pag inuukit mo daw ang puno, ang tawag doon ay girdling. So, sabi dito, parang ibig sabihin, yung pag-ukit, parang dugo na. Nakahawig daw ng isang gatas. Ano naman kaya ibig sabihin ng furrowing the earth? Ayan. Ang ibig sabihin ng furrowing the earth, parang nilalagyan natin siya ng linya. Or, nakalimutan ko kung anong tawag dyan sa pagsasaka. Number 4. Trees rise as temples. O, madali lang yan ha. 5. Trees grapple or hawakan with winds. Kaya bang hawakan ng puno? Or kaya bang hawakan ng hangin ang mga puno? Life is a dream. The white mares or guhit of the moon rush along the sky. The wind tapped like a tired man. His speech is like a whisper of 1,000 bees. He is a lion in a fight. Now, I suggest here, babasahin nyo ng maigi muna yung mga sentences and make sure you understand it in Tagalog. So, para ma-identify mo kung siya ba ay simile, may comparison ba na ginagamitan ng as and like, or metaphor, may comparison pero walang as and like, or personification, siya ba tumutukoy sa isang bagay na hindi naman tao pero binibigyan natin ng kakayanan as human beings. Okay, we will move on to our third topic, which is imagery. So imagery is a literary device that refers to the use of figurative language to evoke a sensory experience or create a picture with words for a reader. So, ang imagery daw, paggamit daw ng mga salita na na uma-appeal or sabihin na nating paano ba sa Tagalog yun? Basta it appeals sa ating sensory, sa ating 5 senses. And because of that, it creates a mental picture in our minds. So para maunawaan natin, ito yon, types of imagery. We have visual imagery which appeals to the sense of sight. Paano mo malalaman yon? So yung color, yung size, yung shape, yung pattern nang i-describe na isang object. Okay, let's say green leaf. So visual imagery yon. Then we have olfactory imagery. So tingnan nyo saan siya nakaturo. Siya ay nakaturo dito sa ating ilong. So sense of smell. Paano mo malalaman? So yung mga fragrances, yung mga amoy, scent, odor. Let's say foul smell. So yung the word foul appeals to the sense of smell. Siya ay olfactory imagery. Tactile imagery, saan siya nakaturo? Dito sa ating hands. So meaning ito yung ating touch, temperature, movement, and texture. So diyan naman, kapag nagpapakita, let's say hot coffee. So yun ay tactile imagery. And then we have gustatory imagery. Saan nakaturo? Sa ating dila. Okay? Sense of taste yan. We have sweetness, spiciness, savoriness, sourness, saltiness. Lahat ng nalalasahan ay gustatory imagery. And then last one, we have our auditory imagery, something that pertains to music, to noise, and silence. So lahat na naririnig, halimbawa ay kagaya kayo na the howling of the wind. So yung pagsigaw daw ng hangin, it appeals to our sense of hearing. So again, these are the 5 types of imagery. So pag tinignan nyo to, may mga color, may saltiness, it creates a mental picture of the words being described. Okay, punta tayo sa learning test 3. Copy and complete the following chart by giving the appropriate sensory experience for the images given. The first one is done for you as your guide. So look at this. Days are green, fires and nights are warm. So these lines came from our poem, I Am Proud to be a Filipino. So tingnan nyo, dalawa ang isinagot. Itong sight, alin kaya dito sa line na to appeals to the sense of sight? Okay, you are correct. This word, green fires, appeals to the sense of sight. How about this one, touch? Alin dito yung nag-a-appeal? Alin word? Okay, this word, warm. Kasi sabi kanina, temperature is also sense of touch. So here, ganun din ang gagawin nyo. Ilalagay nyo lang kung sight or touch or pwede rin naman kung ano yung inaral natin sa previous slide. It can be auditory, it can be tactile, it can be gustatory. Okay? Kung mas familiar ka naman sa mga senses natin, sige, basta tama ang sagot, walang problema. Okay, 1 to 10 yan. Let's move on. Learning task 4. So, this is your final task. You're going to choose one from the following activities. Pero isa na lang talaga ang pinili ko. You're going to draw a simple symbol of being a Filipino in your paper. Then explain in at least 5 sentences why you choose that symbol. So, pipili ka daw ng isang bagay na sumisimbolo sa atin bilang mga Pilipino. And then, ipapaliwanag mo bakit yun ang napili mo. So, for our rubrics, sa drawing and creativity and design. So, meron ng drawing, creativity, and design, 10 points. Short explanation, kasamang spelling and grammar, 10 points. So, this activity has a total point of 20 points. Saan ito drawing? Pwedeng sa papel, pwedeng sa typewriting, in a separate paper para maganda, malinaw. Next. Assessment. So choose the letter of the phrase that completes the sentence. Write your answer in your paper. So again, ito na namang assessment, parang review lang yan. After mong masagutan yung task 1, task 2, task 3, ulitin natin si task 1, may kinamalayan sa tula. Si task 2, figures of speech. Si task 3, imagery. So after mo daw ma-accomplish lahat ng yon, we have here 5 questions as a review. So letters only. Okay, punta na tayo sa reflection. So write your reflection by answering the questions that follow. The activity in the lesson that I enjoy is. So, alin dun sa 4 activities ang iyong na-enjoy? Bakit? I can share my learnings through. Paano mo daw maiibahagi ang iyong natutunan? So, let us go back to our score guide. So, our quizzes, that is from task 1 up to task 3, including kasama si assessment and si reflection, 40 points. Performance natin, 20 points, which is task 4, drawing with explanation. So, pag nag-drawing ka lang, walang explanation, malamang mga 10 or below yon. Kailangan may explanation so that you can hit the target, 20 points. So, again, this module was prepared by Ma'am Divina Gracia and Ma'am Salgado from SDO Tayaba City. And of course, this PowerPoint presentation was made by yours truly, Ma'am Annie Ramirez, your English teacher here in Batangas National High School. So that's all. I hope talagang aralin po natin itong ating week 5. Kasi guys, kahit pa sabihin nyo may makukunan kayo ng sagot, kung hindi nyo naman siya nauunawaan, mahihirapan kayong ipasa ang chapter na ito sa inyong summative test. So, I am encouraging everyone to listen over and over again to this video para so that you can fully understand it. And kapag may question, you can always ask me through our group chats. So, that's all. Thank you very much.